Alright. Alright, folks. Let's get to it. Alright. So, hello everybody. We were in the middle of finishing some test refactoring. Let me turn this down so you can hear me. So we were doing some test refactoring. We're going to finish that, and we're going to automate this to CI/CD tonight. So, let me know who's there, who's here, who's out watching here. Tell me who you are. So, here's our test. We're going to finish. There's 3 more tests we have to do to refactor. And what we're doing is we're going to refactor the tests to use an in-memory database. And also make sure these tests are not having to hit over the wire on real network calls. So right now we're looking at the Slack tests, right? So we have a Slack app. We also have a front end. We've got the client, which is React.js for the website wedotdd.com. And we have our GraphQL service in the back end. We have another static service. So we're working on the test for Slack. So down here in our test folder, we were trying to finish converting the three more tests to use to make them more isolated and to use an in-memory database. So if we run all of our tests, right? So oops, let's let this load first. Let's go up here and do that. Command R, Control R. I mean, so let me turn on my keycaster so you can see what I'm typing to. Come on, OS X. Alright. Now you can see what I'm typing. Eventually. There it is. Alright, so. Okay. Alright, so the startup time is ridiculous on these tests too. So we're gonna remove Jest. I hate Jest, and we're gonna put Mocha back in right after we do this. So what happened? We get more. Oh yeah, 3 tests failed. So we have 3 more tests to fix. Let's see if this still holds true. It should. Okay, so 3 tests. Okay, so I think this is just that something changed on the design or something. So this one, yeah. So this one. Oh, I see. We haven't isolated this test yet. It's still using JavaScript test stubs. We want to remove that and have it use the in-memory database. So this one's going to be a little bit of work. So let's see. Okay, this will be a little bit of work. So let's see. We need to basically get rid of most of this stuff. So we need to do something like this. Okay, so if we call... We're calling add crafter. Okay, so in add crafter, what we're going to do is inject we're going to inject this. Okay, so it's called send request. Because we're going to inject a way that isolates the call. And it directly talks to the GraphQL service without having to go over the wire. So we're going to inject this. What's it called? Oh, send query. Send query. Alright, so that's... Yes, that's the one we want from test helpers. So we don't need this anymore. We're not going to use knock anymore. We don't need, let's see what else we don't need. We need the data, but we don't need the test stubs. So we can get rid of this. We can get rid of all this stuff. New crafter. Okay, what is this? This is the one that comes back from the database. Well, okay, so this is the one we're creating. We create a new crafter, and the other one is we were stubbing what came back from the database. We were faking it. Basically, we were using a stub. So we don't need this anymore. We kind of need some of this. We don't need a stub. So here's what we'll do this time. This time we're going to oh, we need to isolate this. Well, we need to change some of these too. Oh man, it's passing, but it's also. Oh no, it's fine. Never mind, that's fine. Crafter stub. Oh, okay, that's okay. So I'm looking for another test I had before, where we added a crafter. Let's see. I need this thing. So basically another one of these. Okay, so we're gonna add a crafter using the GraphQL call first. So this one is okay. Testing all the fields for add crafter, basically, coming from Slack. So okay. Crafter stub. Add crafter. What are we assertion? What are we asserting on? Okay. Okay. We don't need this anymore. Okay, we don't need this anymore because we have a helper for that now. So we don't need this anymore because we've dried that up with a helper. So basically, we don't need any of this anymore. And so now we're... Alright, so we're going to set all these fields as if we entered it in the Slack web form. We're pretending we did. And then we're going to submit the crafters to the in-memory database. So... Alright. Oops. Move myself over here. Okay. Alright, so let me stop my test here. Okay, so we've got community IDs. We basically need to do the same thing. Like, we need to just basically do crafters. We'll just grab this. Crafter stub. That's using crafter input. That doesn't have community IDs, so what was I doing before? What was community IDs? What? Crafters. Crafter input. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, so that's cool. We basically need to just copy this part. This. Alright, it's this. Okay. So the difference is we're using a JS literal to create a fake crafter, like to create a crafter, right? Like pretending that we've already submitted the web form or the Slack form, and this is the data that we're setting the crafter to be inserted into the database through GraphQL. So we're still using a stub, but I've got a helper that does the GraphQL request, and it takes like one or many, right? So it's an array instead. But basically it's the same as this. I'm just moving it into this format so that I can use this helper. And then the other change is we're actually sending the requests directly to the GraphQL module itself. We're not sending over the wire, over the network. We don't need to. So, okay, so let's continue just getting this set up here. Alright, so this. Alright, let's do, gotta do first name, last name, all that stuff too. So we need about me. Okay. Alright, so we got this gender ID. Okay. So now we've set up a crafter that needs to be inserted to the database. This is calling... We're testing the add crafter method on the Slack side, which does this. It just makes a call. It makes a real call, but what we're doing is we're sending in this send query instead of the real send query. The real send query sends a real request. But this one, we don't want to do that. We want to send it just to the module itself. So this test helper does just that. It sends it to the module. Supertest wraps the app, which is the GraphQL service itself, and we send the GraphQL request directly to that module. So that's the difference, and so we're injecting that difference from our tests. Stub crafter. This is going to be crafter stub. Add crafter. We don't need this. We do need this. Whoops. We need... Okay, so we actually don't need this anymore because we're not using that helper. So, I forgot the shortcut that... There's a way you can change all these at once, but I forgot what it is. So I'm just gonna... actually, can we do rename on this? If we rename this... No, we can't. There's a way to do, like, to backspace and it changes all of them at once, but I forgot how to do that, so... I forgot. Oh, shit. Alright, so let's do it manually. Community. Okay, so that's cool. We don't need... Oops, we don't need this. Alright, so now we send in the crafter stub to be inserted to the in-memory database through a GraphQL call. So we need this, and put this in here. And then we need to make sure this can take the injected helper method, send query. Okay, so now we're gonna send a GraphQL request, so that sends this right here, and then we want these fields back from the GraphQL request, and then we can test to see if we got it back. So this would be crafter. Let's just rename this to new crafter, like it had before. Crafter. Okay, all right. What happened? What the fuck? Get out of my face. All right. Let's just whatever. New crafter. Oh, I see it. I see what I did. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Why did I do that? All right. What? Okay. Okay. So then, this should still pass, assuming that our in-memory database and everything still works fine. So if we run this test, hopefully it should still pass, because now we're hitting the in-memory postgres database instead of mocking the call, stubbing the call, and telling it what data to return. We're not doing that anymore. So, all right. So let's run our test and see. Let's just run this. Let's just run this describe. Let's run this test. Let's run this test and see if it passes. I hope it does. It's just slow as hell. I can't stand it. So one of our assertions failed. It was the year. Okay, so here's the database, like, logs, basically. It created the crafter. Okay, and then we got the crafter back, but then one of the fields... Oh, one of the fields was undefined. Interesting. So, why did that fail? Because we gave it a year. I think, so let's see which one it is. So one of these two failed. These were okay, but one of these two failed here. So, undefined. I'm just curious why that happened. Year started fresh, okay. It's weird. Let's just... put a breakpoint. Let's put a breakpoint here and see what happened. So if we let's put a breakpoint also here to see why that came back undefined for one of the years when it inserted the crafter. So if we run this, I'm just gonna debug it this time. Okay, so here we go. It's gonna send the query. It's gonna post it. We get over here, and here's the query that's about to be added to the in-memory database. So let's see what this is. Okay, so this is what it's. Oh no, this is selecting. Okay, hold on. Selecting a crafter. Now it's going to insert the crafter. So here's the insertion. Let's see what it says. So it tries to insert the crafter. Okay, so it tries to insert. It doesn't insert 2014, but we get. Oh, we didn't. Oh, it's not selecting the. It's not returning the professional. Oh yeah, we're not returning one of the fields. Huh, that's weird. Oh, because did we tell it to in our test? I don't know if we did. Yeah, we did. Okay, so it's not returning. Hold on a second. Yeah, so if we look at our crafter database, if we insert it, then we expect to get back all these fields. We're missing one of the fields. We're missing this one. So what did I call it in the database? If I go look at the crafter table here, crafter code start. Oh no, we got it. Crafter code start year. Okay, so we returned it. So what's the problem? Let's see. What's the problem here? So if we returned it, here's the insert statement, and let's. Okay, so if we run this. Okay, so if we run this thing, what happens? What do we get back? Let's just run it and see. So if we do. Okay, so it's going to get here. If we run this query, let's see. So if we ran the query and we get back these fields, so we do get back the code start year. Okay, so then what's the problem? Why? So if we get it back, and then what will happen is it will go to our repository, and it will should come back around here. Crafter add. So if we go to crafter add repository, this is where we'll return that data from, and map it to domain crafter. So we gotta look at to domain crafter. Personal. Year. What? So we add the crafter. We get a okay, new domain crafter model. Here's where we we should be getting the field back here. So let's see if we do. So, okay, what? Eventually we'll get there. Undefined. What? Wait, they're both undefined. What? Well, this is wrong. Gender. Okay, so what? Email. This is all undefined. Oh shit. Well, that's a problem. I thought it was just this down here, but it's everything. So new crafter. Oh, what am I doing? So this has to be new crafter. I don't know why. I think because I had it set up differently before. Okay, we gotta fix this. Alright, so there's no problem. I just gotta finish my damn assertions on the refactor, so. Alright. Okay. Oh, I see. I see what I did. Okay. Here, let's just change this up. I'm gonna change it around a little bit. Gender. Okay. Okay, so first name, crafter stub. What? Why is it saying it's not used? I just used it. So we want to do crafter stub, first name, crafter stub, gender ID. Okay. Alright, hopefully crafter skill, oh, crafter skill input. Oh, okay, I see. So we want to change this to be crafter, oh yeah. So let's see, skills, skills, crafter skill input has, wait, now let's see, crafter stub has skills. Okay. Oh, there's no name. Okay. Are we returning name from GraphQL for skills? I would hope so. So if we go back to GraphQL, look at its API. So this is Slack. So GraphQL is up here. The GraphQL, what is it bitching about? GraphQL, what? Oh, this is GraphQL, where are you? GraphQL's got, here's GraphQL. So its API has, so here we have, oh, okay, so we're not, oh, I see. So, okay. let me see this again. Okay, we don't need a name, we just need to know. Okay, so there we go. Why is this saying it's not being used? I just used it down here. Oh, because I don't need this. Okay, we don't need the, because we did destructuring, so we don't need this prefix before it, because it already knows it, so. Alright, duh. Okay. Alright. Almost done here. Okay, hopefully this will pass now. Let's see if this passes. Okay. So it's comparing the crafter stub, which is the crafter we wanted to insert, with the crafter that was inserted. So that's what this test is doing. So, okay. Let's run the test. Still has a problem. First, oh, okay. Okay, so the first name that was inserted, undefined. Crafter stub. First name is empty, and I got an undefined from first name? What? Oh, because, what? This makes no sense. How is that possible? We sent in a first name with an empty first name to be added to the database, but we got back an undefined. Let's just put a breakpoint here and let's debug. I don't know what's going on here, so. Okay, so here's the GraphQL. Let's just go back to our test. I want to put a breakpoint there. Okay, here we go. So, insert, and then we get back. So we got back the crafter that was inserted, and first name was empty. So that's good. So why are we getting back an undefined though from our test? I don't know. Let's keep. Maybe it'll be okay this time. Let's keep going. Okay, so here's the crafter being returned from GraphQL. First name is empty. Yep, that's what we wanted. Okay. All right. Let's keep going and see what we get back here. So first name, undefined. What? Why would we get undefined? Create crafter, return create crafter. What? Alright, let's run this again. I want to see what's going on here. So it seems like everything on the GraphQL side's okay. It's just something weird's going on here in our code. New crafter. Yeah, let's see what's going on out here on the Slack side here with our request, our response. Okay. So we got back data. Let's see what this is. Create crafter, and that gave us because our real code. I see. Our real code only gives us this back. Okay. So for the sake of the test, we could add that stuff in here. I say we do. So let's go ahead and just add all the fields we expect to come back from this big integration test. Except this stuff's already tested. It's already tested in the GraphQL side, so I don't really need to. So I mean, I've already tested this stuff already. So what we care about is that on the Slack side, this code works here. Okay, So I don't really need to test every field. Okay, so yeah, I mean we're really just testing these few lines in here. So let's just test for Slack user ID. So we don't need to do all this. We just need Slack user ID. All right, so that's all we need. Let's just do that one. So get rid of this stuff. All right, cool. Now Slack user ID we set to 10. All right, so that should pass now. Since we are getting Slack user ID back, so that should work. All right, we're not hitting anything over the network. We know it works. Cool. All right, we simplified that test. So let's run all the rest of the tests. There's a couple more tests we gotta fix. Because we have to make sure they're isolated. I think I just accidentally did. Oh, never mind. Did I just add a? Let me check my website real quick here. Let's check my website. See if we. Ah shit! I was worried about that. We added a stupid test user. So god damn it! Hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Shit. Hold on. God damn it. Okay, so. Alright. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of that stupid thing I just added to the database, the real database. Because one of my tests were still not isolated, so it ran and inserted something into the real database again. So that's why we're isolating these tests. We don't want that to happen again. And we want our tests to be faster and isolated too. Hit the real thing without hitting the real thing, you know what I mean? So, alright, so let's get rid of that record real quick. Again, we need to get rid of this one. That is 107. Crafter, communities, crafter skills, crafter links personal. Okay. Alright, that should clean it up. So that should be gone. Okay, so we still need to isolate 2 more tests because they're inserting into the real database. Let's just run this test to make sure it is indeed hitting the in-memory database. I know it is, but let's just run this and make sure one more time. This should be adding it to the in-memory database now, not the real database. So if we go here, this is the real database. It should not show up, and it doesn't. Great, wonderful. So let's go to isolate the other tests too. So the other ones that we still have to do, and now I just forgot what they are. So of course, now if I run it again, that's going to add another crafter. So crap. I should have noted down what they were. So here's what we can do. Let's just do this. Let's go to the real call helper, and let's just comment the damn thing out. What is this bitching about? Okay. Alright, so I want to do this one. I want to comment out the real call. Let's just do this. Let's go here and just comment this out. Then we can run our other tests and see which ones still fail safely without hitting the database. So let's go ahead and run our test again. Let's clean this up a little bit. With Jest, I can't do like a dot only and stuff or dot fit when I use the test runner in an IDE like this. So let's get rid of these stupid things. Alright, so now we can run all the tests. Come on. Okay, so these two are the ones that are failing still. So this one is hitting what? Let's see. Country ace. Okay, this one's we need to isolate as well. So this one we're gonna do the same thing. We're going to. This one is saying retrieve list of all countries. Okay, and this one's saying. Okay, so this is not even actually doing any inserts. Okay, this one's doing. These three we have to fix because there's actually 3 tests starting to hit the real thing still. So, all right. So there's actually 3 more. So, oh, I see. This failed. I broke a test because I commented this out. So, let's see. This test right here. Is this still? This test. Yeah, that was passing. Okay, so the 2 tests I think we have to fix are this one and the one above it. So, yep, we're gonna get rid of this knock, knock.js. We're not gonna knock it anymore. We're not gonna fake it. So this one, let's fix this one. We don't need this anymore. So we'll get rid of this. We are gonna send in. We're not gonna do any stubs anymore. Because we're hitting an in-memory database, so we don't need this. This is gonna simplify it a lot. So communities are gonna be like greater. It's gonna be like greater than 1 now because we have a whole database full of them. So, oops. Greater than I don't know. It's like I forgot how many are in there. Let's just say 50. This is all we really need. So can we get the communities? This we really care about. We've already tested this stuff on the GraphQL side, so I'm not going to double test exactly the same stuff. I just want to care that I can get them from the Slack side. So, all right, so that's cool. And let's fix the other test too, and then we'll run them and see if it worked. We also need to inject the send query, so it doesn't hit the real database. So that it hits the GraphQL without having to make a real network request. Send query, and this thing will take a send query. I'm not going to TypeScript that. Okay, this is going to be the test one. All right, cool. And then wherever in our production code that's calling that needs to use the real send query. Okay, so this one's going to use the real send query production code. Is that really the one I want? Yes. Okay, so back to our test. Why is this bitching? Publish home view needs a send query. Yep. Okay, cool. Inject that. All right, so now back to our test. We also need to. Okay, here it is. This one and this one. Here's the other one. So we don't need this anymore. Any of this stuff. we're going to inject the send query here. And for our test helpers, and then get all countries needs to take that. Okay, and then from our production code, get all countries. Who's calling that? Countries. Right here. And actually, we need to send a query here as well. Okay, so that'll fix the production code part of it, because it's going to use the real send query. Okay, so should be. Is that it? Is that all we have? So now we're going to run all of our tests, and they should hopefully all pass and not hit the real database anymore. So we'll find out. We'll see what happens. They're all passing. Yes, excellent. Okay, so in that they shouldn't have hit the database at all. Oh, they're still running. Okay, hold on. Well, we also need to uncomment the real thing too, right here. So, but if these pass, then we know that it didn't hit that. So, that it hit our test helper instead. Why is this taking so long? Okay, this one's still okay because now it's hitting the in-memory database. So we need to put like. Let's just do this instead. Because if we ever add any new ones, I don't want to have to keep changing my tests. Greater than 193. Okay, that should pass the test. And then we know it's not hitting this because if it did, it would fail. So it's not hitting the real database anymore. It's not doing. So that's cool. Put this back in here. All right. So we have fixed all our tests. We are ready to deploy this to our CI/CD pipeline and get rolling on that. And that's going to be very easy because we already have a script that we can run for that. So it's basically the same kind of script here, the command line. So okay, so these are all passed. Let's check this in. Alright, okay, so let's automate the test now, everybody. We're gonna we have a test here. We just need to run our, okay, we already have that. Run test Slack. Let's run this locally and make sure they all pass so that we know that it'll run okay in our CI/CD. So let's run it here. So this should pass here too. This we have a configuration issue, but it should be alright. See how slow Jest is? I hate it. Whoa, this is taking forever. What the fuck? This is why I don't like Jest. It's just slow as hell. Why is this taking so long? When I run it in the test runner in JetBrains, it's fast, but if I run it on the command line, what gives? Why is it so slow? Why is Jest so slow in the command line? Holy shit. I don't run my tests in command line usually. I usually use IntelliJ or WebStorm. I love it because it's so much nicer. This is taking forever. It's still running. But it says they passed. What the hell? Okay. Let's get rid of these logs too. I was trying to troubleshoot the in-memory database at first. We don't need that anymore. So let's go get rid of that stuff too. Let's clean that up first. So that is in DB connection. Let's get rid of the damn logs. Where was that? That was. Oh yeah, that was in my in-memory database. It's in here. No wait, where was that at? I was logging a bunch of stuff. Well, I think it was in. Here it is. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Let's make sure there's no console logs in here. Log. Nope. Okay, cool. So, not sure why those take so long when you run them in the command line for Jest. It's terrible. Let me check something real quick here. In the tsconfig, I think I'm missing something that will speed it up in here too. So let me look at my other tsconfig. There's a setting that you can set to speed the TypeScript shit up in your tests. How did I do that last time? It was in my tsconfig file, but I forgot which one I did it. I forgot which one I did this in. Slack tsconfig. Oh, it was this, I think. And then so, why is it so slow? Oh, you know why? Because of probably this. Well, we need to change this up to have a test tsconfig in here. Well, we do have test tsconfig, but we need to have... I needed to do something about this. I think this is part of the problem. So if I do this and then run this again, I wonder if that speeds it up. Let's just see. I'm curious to see. So if we run these tests again, let's see if it's faster now. Nope, not really. But we do need to do something. I'm going to put a note on something we need to do. We need to check TypeScript settings tests. We need to do this. So we need to... Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to do... Come on, open up. This is slow as hell. Jesus. Okay, anyways, I don't know. Whatever. So I'm gonna check... I'll fix that too. But let's open this up. Refresh the page. Well, that's... We're gonna run this in our CI/CD. I want to put a couple of cards in for Trello for a couple things I remembered we need to do. So, sure. Speed. We also need to what else? We also need to create a test specific. We already have a test specific type. Oh yeah, so we don't want to do source maps on our production. So, God damn it. Source maps only for testing. We're out. Change config. Source maps for tests, not prod code. I'm not sure how we're gonna do that yet. Probably separate tsconfig. I'm not sure, but I guess when we run the tests, I think, do I need like a tsconfig in production? 2 of them? I don't know. Like one that does source maps, one that doesn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. So we need to figure this out. Let's see. Checklist. No. Labels. So I gotta do those 2 things. So what do we have done? We need to do this next. That next too. We need to do that next. None of this stuff. So we need to automate this. So right, let's run this. They all passed locally, so they should pass our CI/CD. So we already set up our CI to run that. So let's check this code in and see if it passes in our continuous integration build. What do? We do some cleanup. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Cleanup. So let's go ahead and see how our build does. So we're gonna do a pull request and just kick off the build for us, and should run our tests. So now it's gonna run our tests. So if we go to our GitHub Actions, it's gonna run our tests here. Run all tests. There it goes. Okay, so it's going to run all the tests first. Curious to see how long this takes too, because we're running our entire test suite for all of our apps. So we've got 3 sets of tests we're running right here. So I'm surprised it didn't run my other builds. Oh, it must be like it's waiting on. Oh, like I see. I like that. So if the tests don't pass, it won't run the rest of my build. That's great. That's exactly what I need. How does it know that? How does it know that? I mean, how does it know to run my the test build first before my other builds? Because I opened a PR. On the other ones, it only runs on closed. Okay, awesome. So let's see how that works. So I've got a test GitHub action that runs my tests on the open of a PR. If any of those tests fail, it's not going to run the rest of my build because they're based on closing a PR. And you can't close a PR if your tests fail. So that's how that works. Perfect. I like it. I like it. It's working great. So the front-end test just passed. That was quick. Here's all my front-end tests. It was all passed. And now it's running the GraphQL tests. This is beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love it. This is how you should be doing code. This is what teams should be doing out there. They should be working on getting this kind of stuff set up. And getting your tests, writing good tests, and TDD. You can all go home and relax because all your stuff works. You have to sit there and chase bugs all day. You don't need to do that. You need to work on this, getting stuff like this in place where you work. That's called professionalism. It's called doing a good job. Not rushing, doing a good job. We're professionals. We're not hackers. We're really not. Stop rushing. Keep rushing for people. When your product manager tells you to rush, tell them to go fuck off. Tell them you're a fucking professional and you're going to do a good job. So the GraphQL tests are taking a while to run. I'll have to look into that one. Why is it running my... Oh, you know what? Oh, I know what. It's stalling. You know what I forgot to do? let's cancel this. I forgot to take out the in my package JSON. Our test script for GraphQL is running the real node GraphQL server. I don't need it to do that. Let's run this again. That was actually stalling because the service was starting up for Node.js and it was sitting there saying, "Hey, I'm running on port 4000," and my test never ran. So let's run this again. And we had to fix that. So. There we go. Alright, so let's check this in. Alright, there we go. No, we have to